It began on a bitterly cold night when my wife stepped out of the bedroom, dressed in clothes far too glamorous for the hour. I asked where she was going, expecting a simple answer, but she snapped. "Where I go is none of your business." Her voice was sharp, cutting, and the dismissal hurt more than I could admit. We had been married for years. Yet at that moment, I felt like a stranger in my own home. Her words lingered in my mind long after the door slammed behind her. I tried to convince myself she was just upset, maybe going out with friends to clear her head, but an uneasy knot of doubt settled in my chest. I stayed awake, restless, pacing the living room. Midnight passed. Then 1 a.m. hours stretched, endless. At 3 a.m., the shrill ring of my phone shattered the silence. My hands trembled as I answered. A man's hurried, tense voice told me to come quickly. My wife had been drinking, he said, and something had happened. His words were clipped, fragmented, but the meaning was clear. She was in trouble. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed my keys and sped into the night. When I arrived, my worst fears were confirmed. She was in a hotel parking lot, surrounded by strangers, dazed and disoriented. The man who had called me slipped away the moment I appeared. The expressions on their faces said everything. I didn't shout. I didn't demand answers. I helped her into the car, drove home in silence, and put her to bed. Her words were slurred, excuses barely coherent, but I said nothing. I didn't raise my voice. In that quiet, I made a decision. Her betrayal would not go unanswered. The next morning, she acted as if nothing had happened. She sipped her coffee, brushed her hair in the mirror, just another ordinary day. When I asked about the night before, she dismissed me again, cold and detached. "None of your business," she said. That was confirmation enough. Over the following weeks, I became the perfect husband. I smiled, went to work, maintained appearances. Quietly, I started collecting everything. Phone records, text messages, photographs. Her recklessness made it easier. Every lie she told became a piece of evidence, stacking higher until the truth was undeniable. I even consulted a lawyer. Careful and methodical, I laid the groundwork for what would come next. Every detail was planned in my favor. The house, the savings, even the car in my name. I waited, not out of hesitation, but because I wanted the moment to be perfect, final. One Friday night, she casually announced she was going out again. I smiled, wished her a good time, and let her leave. The moment the door clicked shut, I set everything in motion. By the time she returned, unsteady and wearing perfume that wasn't hers, I was seated at the dining table, a folder waiting for her. She froze. Without a word, I pushed it toward her. "It's your business now," I said, calm. Her face went pale as she opened it. Inside was a detailed account of every lie, every affair, every calculated move I had quietly documented, ending with divorce papers, waiting for her signature. She tried crying, pleading, twisting the story in her favor. But I stayed firm. Every excuse she made had evidence against it. Every denial had an answer. The following weeks were a storm for her. She lost the house, most of the money, and the perfect image she had worked so hard to maintain. Friends she thought would defend her vanished once the truth emerged. Her confidence crumbled into panic, while I had already stepped away from the wreckage and into a new life. I won't say I felt joy in her suffering, but there was undeniable satisfaction in restoring balance. My revenge was never about shouting or fighting. It was about reclaiming my dignity, proving I would not be treated like a fool. She had once told me my questions weren't my business. In the end, I made everything my business. My choice, my closure, my justice. When I finally signed the last paper and closed that chapter of my life, I did so with a calm heart, knowing I had spoken the loudest without ever raising my voice.